I'm curious as to your stance on entering a career. Should one pursue their giftings and passions as the world constantly and loudly clamors? Or should one jump onto any job and stick it out there? I appreciate you taking the time to answer, and I hope you have a blessed day. You too, Otto.
Hear that, Otto? This is a very important but difficult question. So my first reaction is always when that question arises, what's your passion? So if your passion is astronaut, there are very few people who get to be astronauts. Should you follow your passion? Well, if you are gifted in engineering or whatever is involved in study to be an astronaut, then I would imagine go for it. But there are many arguments in the other direction as well. For example, I think the really terrific example is my stepson, Reed. Reed is incredibly gifted in IT. I mean, I think he's a sort of genius in the arena. He has an instinct on how to make things and fix things in the world of computers, in the world of electronics, in the world of woodwork. I mean, it's just a gift. Now, here's the interesting thing. He's been in my life long enough for me to remember when he was in high school, and he had to take, some sort of class that was non-academic, and only one was open, and that was a theater construction. He was as interested in making theater sets, well, I guess you could say, as I am. All right? Zero interest. He lamented the fact that I don't remember what he wanted, but that was his last choice. And that opened him up to his ability to make sets and make anything. It was all because he went into something he had no interest in. So if you say your heart's not in it, how the hell do you know? That's why I love when I meet young people who are attending college, which is a risk unto itself for other reasons. And I ask them, what are you majoring in? And they go, I don't know. I love that answer. Because then they'll take a lot of courses, and they may find that they have an interest in Spanish that they never realized, or they have an ability in languages. I do have an ability in languages. How did I discover it? Because I studied languages. Likewise, my passion is music, but I'm not a gifted pianist, let alone any other instrument. So there are a whole host of issues: gifts, passions, and how do you know what you'll be passionate about? Let me take my father. My father wanted to be a doctor, crazy about medicine, but grew up in the Depression. His family had no money to send him to medical school. It was out of the question. His father was basically an unemployed tailor. How's he going to send his son to medical school? So my father got a job as an accountant. The last thing in his mind he'd ever be, an accountant. Well, I got to tell you, my father spoke about his love of accounting the way people would speak about their love of any passion in their life. He loved being an accountant. He got to love it. He fell in love with it after entering it. So you just don't know. And what did he love about it? Well, I'll tell you he said it so often I have it memorized. Among other things, he loved the challenge of figuring out how to get people to give the government the least money possible legally. It was like every single client was this great puzzle, this great riddle. And needless to say, they loved him for it. And my father was audited and never once had to pay a penny, because he was scrupulously honest, but scrupulously on behalf of his client. I'll tell you another reason he loved it that he often mentioned. He said, once people open up about their finances, which obviously an accountant has to know your finances, they'll open up about anything. He said, I ended up being half of these people's psychiatrist. Once I knew how much money they made, they started to tell me about their sex life with their wives. Which is, knowing my father, I have no doubt that they did. My father was very open on the subject, as I am, and I got it from him, actually. So there's a great example of a guy who didn't follow his passion, as my stepson and my father are great examples. People thrown into a completely different field and ended up loving it and great at it. So that's why I don't have an answer for you. Or another possibility is you do what you're passionate about while making a living at what you're less passionate about. Because let me tell you something, making a nice living, it develops a passion. when you can feed yourself and your family, take a vacation, drive the car you like, live in a decent home, it's pretty good. That somehow sparks passion. All right, I hope that helped. Did that help?
That was great.
Okay, good.
Hey guys, this is Alex from the PragerU design team. If you love Dennis Prager's Fireside Chat as much as I do, then you should subscribe to PragerU.com today or download our app and never miss a new episode of Dennis's Fireside Chat, 4:30 p.m. every Thursday.